Hello everyone, welcome to your English class. Today we will do the explanation of Unit 6, 0R, Part 1. This lesson is written by Alexander Blade. Alexander Blade was a popular American science fiction and fantasy author. The Brain and the Plotters are some of his other stories. Now let's continue. Let's start with our lesson. Para 1. Father had already gone when Bobby woke up. This disappointed Bobby a little, but then he remembered this was the big day. Naturally, father would go to the project early, and at 4 o'clock, Bobby shivered deliciously at the thought of it. Now, here in this lesson, in this first paragraph of this lesson, the narrator of the story is saying that that day, Bobby's father, the name of the character which is the leading character of the story is Bobby, and we are talking about his father in the first line. Here, the narrator is saying that his father woke up early today, and Bobby was little bit disappointed at this, but then he remembers that it was the big day for his father. So naturally his father had to woke up early and go to the project. And at 4 o'clock, Bobby shivered deliciously. Now here shivered deliciously means trembled with a pleasant sense of excitement, expecting something to happen. He was very excited that something good will happen today. He was quite at breakfast, glad that mother was occupied, because he didn't want to talk. Not today, he didn't. Might spill something secret, might even let out the big secret that would be terrible. Now, here in the second paragraph, Bobby, who was sitting on the breakfast table, and he was glad that his mother was occupied. Occupied means she was busy. He was glad that his mother was busy, and here the narrator says that he didn't wanted to talk that day to his mom, because he was worried that if he will talk to his mother, he might spill out some secret which would be terrible for him and his father too. Para 3. Of course, all things were secret at Buffalo Flats. So secret that top scientists like his father, John Kendall, didn't even discuss them with their families. Now, in the third para, the narrator of the lesson is telling us that it was such a big secret that everything was at Buffalo Flats, and his father, who was a top scientist named John Kendall, he not even discussed the matter with his family. Para 4. Therefore, it was really something to sit there eating breakfast, knowing that today father was going to fly to the moon, and mother did not even know that the lunar project was in the works. She would naturally not even dream that he was going with father. The thrill was overpowering. Overpowering means affect him very strongly. The secret was too much to bear. Now, here the narrator of the story is saying that Bobby was thinking continuously about the lunar project which was in process at Buffalo Flats, and he thought that it would be better if he sit quietly and having breakfast, and the the thrilling experience or the effect of the thrill was too much to bear for a little boy. Para number 5. As Bobby got up from his chair after breakfast, mother looked up and said, "And what's your plan for today, young man?" Bobby had a quick thought, a sudden temptation. Why not give her a hint? Temptation means a wish to do something which may not be wise. Bobby smiled and said, I think I'll go to the moon today. Now, here in the para 5, 6, and 7, there's a little bit conversation between Bobby's mother and Bobby. Mother asked Bobby that what was his plan for that day, and Bobby replied, giving her a hint that he might go to the moon today. Para 8. Mom smiled too and went back to her reading. Well, see to it your mixture is correct. I'll check it. And Mom, I might not be home for lunch. Where will you eat? Oh, I don't know. Well, mind your manners and say thank you when you leave, said Mrs. Kendall, still smiling as she watched Bobby dash out into the yard. Now, here in these paragraphs, uh, the conversation between the mother and the son is going on. Mother asked when Bobby said that he might go to the moon that day. Mother smiled at him and said in a little bit humorous way that he must check his fuel mixture if it was correct or not. Bobby replied that I'll check it. And he also says that I might not be at home for lunch. Then mother asked him that where he will eat, but he said in reply he said I don't know, and he dashed out in the courtyard. Mrs. Kindle was still smiling and saying that you must remember your manners to say thank you before you leave. Para number 13. Out in the backyard, Bobby fused around his space rocket a little, tightening a screw here, hammering a nail there, just until he could slip away without mother noticing where he was headed. It wasn't a bad rocket at that, he thought. 6 feet long with two seats and a neat instrument panel, but child stuff, of course. After he had found the way in through the sewer, he hadn't paid any more attention to his own ship. Now here in para number 13 and 14, there's a discussion, there's a description of how Bobby's actual rocket looked like. And here the narrator is also telling us that Bobby was to acting as if he was very much into his own work. Here they are telling us that he was showing off to his mother that he is busy in his work, in his working at his rocket. He just tightened a screw here and there and hammered a nail somewhere on the rocket, and then when he found the way through the sewer, he did not look towards his mother and escaped from her notice. And in para number 14, they are telling us, the narrator is telling us that his rocket was 6 feet long and it had two seats. A neat instrumental panel also was there, and it was a child stuff, of course. They are saying means it was not a real rocket, it was a child stuff. Child stuff means a thing for a child's play. And now let's move on to next para number 15. He went casually out through the back gate and turned left, kicking at pebbles as he sauntered along, trying to look as though he had no place to go. Had to be careful. Didn't want to bump into any of his friends today either. Now, in para number 15, here they are telling us, the narrator is telling us that the way that Bobby was moving towards the Buffalo Flats in such a way, shunted means walked in a slow and relaxed way. he was walking in such a way that as if he was trying to show that he had no place to go. And here the narrator has also told us that he didn't wanted to bump into any of his friends that day too. Means he didn't want to meet any of his friends and didn't want to play with them also. The way in through the sewer was at a place behind laboratory B. Now here in para 16, the first two lines, the narrator is telling us that the way which Bobby has taken through the sewer was behind the laboratory B. There was a kind of an alley there that nobody ever walked through, and then this round lid you could lift up and look under, and a ladder you could climb down. Alley means a narrow street between or behind buildings. Here in this paragraph, the narrator is telling us that the boy was in the alley. It was a narrow street between the building or behind the building, which through which one could see in the buffalo flats, and a person could also open that round lid and walk down through the ladder. Bobby hadn't dared go down at first, but after thinking about it overnight, his curiosity had prevailed and he had gone back and dug down into the lower level. Now, here in para number 17, the narrator is telling us that at first Bobby didn't wanted to go down under that building, which was somewhat like a, a raised platform. And here the word prevailed and prevailed means successfully took hold of one over's nervousness. Ducked means lowered his head and body quickly. Then, because of his curiosity, at first he was not willing to go there, but because of his curiosity, he just bent his head low and body quickly and went in the lower level of the buffalo flats. He called it a sewer because of sewers being underground. He has called that place, that lower level of that place, as a sewer because the sewers were underground. But this place was clean and had bunches of wires strung in every direction and faint little lights you could see by. Now here he has also explained the place with how it was like. He has said that sewer, that place was not actually the sewer, but because it was under that buffalo flats, that's why he has called it sewer, because sewers are usually underground, no? That's why. And here he has also explained that that place was clean enough and it has wires strung in every direction, and there was little faint light also through which you could see. Now that's all for today. We'll continue with the explanation in our next video. Thank you and have a good day.